Okay, Wargamer Shawn, back going over the Ork Codex, and we're going to go through the gubbins and guns and the relic type weapons for the Ork Codex, or Codex Orks. So the melee weapons, some things are the same. They do now have a buzzsaw, or sorry, I apologize, they had that before. I apologize. It's kill saw. Everything's so familiar. I apologize. The buzzsaw is the same as it was. It was for the Def Coptas, and that's a strength ×2 AP2 melee unwieldy specialist weapon. So it's kind of like a power claw for your Def Coptas. That's the same as it was before. Choppa weapons. Choppa's the same. It's a melee weapon. Big Choppa is +2 to the strength, which is the same as before. AP5. It's a two-handed weapon. Mega Choppa, which is on the Stompa, is a D strength weapon, and it's AP1 melee. The Grab-a-Stick is a tool used by the Runt Herders. It's a user strength melee and throttle. When the wielder is attacking or fighting in a challenge, his opponent reduces his attack characteristics by 1 to a minimum of 1. Now, the Grot Pod, this is a simple mech boy invention. It delivers a shock to the errant Grot's squishy bits. So it's a strength of the user, and then it's melee high voltage. So when the wielder makes a close combat attack, it can choose to instead make a single high voltage attack. If it does so, it roll the hit as normal, but resolve the attack at double the wielder's strength to a maximum of 10. I mean, it's cool. You know, are you really going to be wanting to get your Runt Herders in close combat? I don't really want to with my Grots, honestly, so I don't know if it's worth paying for the upgrades. We'll see later on. They don't even get their attack squigs anymore. Or, sorry, their squig hounds like they used to automatically, so unfortunately a lot of models are going to have to be changed if you don't pay for the upgrade, because they won't come with attack squigs or squig hounds anymore. The new thing is the kill saw. This basically is blades, kind of like a saw blade on fitted to something on the arm, and it's basically like a power fist, but it's got armor bane, so it's melee armor bane special weapon, unwieldy. So it's AP2 strength ×2. It's basically like a chain fist for Space Marines. It's very nice. Power Claws, old reliable, strength ×2, AP2, unwieldy specialist weapon. So that's the same as it was before. Now the Killicans kind of got a little bit of a nerf. They now have the Can Claw, which is +2 strength, AP2 melee. So they're not as strong as they used to be. I think their base 5 will know when we get to that, but so they become strength 7 AP2. They used to be strength 10, so a little bit of a nerf there, but still pretty good for small, you know, light vehicles, and, you know, most of your, even, you know, if you're fighting against basically Terminator armor, you can still, you know, hurt them. The Claw of Gork or possibly Mork, those are for your, basically, your Gorkanaut and Morkanaut. This is strength 10 AP1 melee concussive. Tank Hammer changed a little bit. It's strength 8 like it was before, but it's AP3 now. It's a two-handed unwieldy weapon, so it's worth thinking about. The Erdy Syringe is a melee poisoned 4+. It's for the Pain Boys, and that's the same as it was before. Now the Weird Boy staff, which is really cool, that changed. It's now +2 strength and AP4, so it's kind of like basically a power maul or power staff, but it's a melee weapon. It's a force weapon. It's two-handed. So the cool thing is that our Weird Boys get force weapons now, which is nice. So instant death if you charge it to force. So I think that's kind of cool. Kind of buff the Weird Boys a little bit. Big Bomb is something the Def Copter has. It's a large blast, one use only, strength 4, AP5. And then Boom Bombs are for the Bomber Jets. Same kind of as when they first came out with it at the end of 5th edition, where you roll 2d6 and you can either crash the plane or execute it properly. The Burna bombs, but the same, strength 4, AP 4, large blast, ignores cover. The Burna, it actually has in here now that it's strength 4, AP 5, assault 1, template, or it's strength of the user, AP 3, two-handed. It cannot use both profiles in the same turn. It's the same as before. Basically, they just kind of added in the melee thing instead of having it as a little special rule. It's just part of the basically the rules for the weapon. Scorcha is template, strength 5, AP 4. Scorcha missile, strength 5, AP 4. Blast, ignores cover. Bubble Chukka. I mean, we talked about this with the mech guns. I don't know what the heck GW was thinking. I mean, it's such a gimmicky weapon, I really don't see it being used. It's a large blast, heavy one, and the strength and AP is D6. Rolled just once, and you determine both the strength and the AP. So that's great. You roll a 1, it's strength 1, AP 1. Or if you roll a 3, it's strength 3, AP 3. You roll a 6, it's strength 6, AP 6. So yeah, I just don't see it being used that much. I mean, it's very orky, I guess, but not really great. The DACA guns are basically for the choppers or the bikes that they drive. That didn't change. 18 inches, strength 5, AP 5, assault 3. Def Cannon is 72-inch, strength 10, AP 1, primary weapon, massive blast. That's for Stampas. Def Gun is 48 inches, strength 7, AP 4, D3, and that's for the Ludas, and that hasn't changed at all. Grot Blasters are 12-inch, strength 3, assault 1, that didn't change at all. Grotzuka is 18-inch, strength 6, AP 5, heavy 2, blast. That changed a little bit, I think. I don't think it used to be a heavy 2 blast. The cannon is the same. Basically, it's a missile launcher. It's 36-inch for frag, strength 4, AP 5, blast, and the shell is strength 8, AP 3, heavy 1. The kill cannon is basically strength 7, AP 3, ordnance, large blast, 24-inch range. I believe that's what the looted wagon can now get. It doesn't have its own little gun anymore. Combi weapons, they can choose to fire their primary shooter or the secondary weapon, so rocket, Scorcha, and they can only be fired once, the secondary weapon. So this is the same as what it was before. Custom mega weapons. The custom mega slugger is 12-inch, strength 8, AP 2 pistol that gets hot. So don't roll a 1, especially if you have armor 6. Custom mega blaster is 24-inch, strength 8, AP 2 gets hot. Custom mega cannon is 36-inch range, strength 8, AP 2 blast gets hot. So they all get hot. The Labas got awesome, especially with the the mech guns. Labas are 48-inch, strength 5, AP 5, barrage, blast. It's just awesome. You know, maybe not quite as good as a Wyvern, but for Orks it's pretty dang good. Rocket launcher, strength 8, AP 3, assault 1, 24-inch range. Same as it was before. It's basically a stick with a rocket on it. Shock attack gun, that changed a little bit. 60-inch, 2d6 strength, AP 2, ordnance 1, large blast. If you roll 2 1s, the shot is not fired, and remove the mech as a casualty, so basically you just die if you roll 2 1s. If you roll 2 2s, basically the opponent gets to choose the shock attack gun's target and place a large blast marker. It can be on the same unit as the mech. 3, basically you have to resolve the shot of the nearest unit. 4 is sploosh, basically small blast template. Any hits are strength 6, AP 6. Zoink, a shot is not fired, but the mech is in base contact with the closest model. 5 and a 6 template is a hit, but shot is strength 10. It's only the hole And then 6 and 6, when resolving this shot, the shock attack gun has the Vortex special rule. So, I got a little different, a little better. I just think it's still too risky to even, I mean, competitively play. Maybe for fun. I've always liked the shock attack gun, but it's just, I've even tried to use it competitively. It's just not that great. I just think the big mech should be using something else. Usually, you kind of need them to have the, custom force field to be helping out the rest of the guys, especially now that's really the only way they're going to get an invuln save now. You're not going to probably be wasting it on a shock attack gun. Shooter weapons stayed the same. Shooter is 18-inch, strength 4, AP6, assault 2. Big shooter is 36-inch, strength 5, AP5. Assault 3, Super Shooter, strength 6, AP4, Assault 3, 36 inches. The Death Storm Mega Shooter is 36 inches, strength 6, AP4, heavy 3d6, and that's on the Gorkanaut. Slugger is strength 4, AP6, pistols 12-inch range. Smasher Gun is 36 inches, strength D6 plus 4, AP1, heavy one. Basically a Lifta type. Kind of they brought the old Lifta gun back, but this is for the mech guns. Snaz guns got a little cooler, I think. They're range 24-inch, they're strength 5, assault 3, so you're guaranteed 3 shots, and D6 for AP. So I think they get a little less random. I think they're good. The AP is a little random. I like it, actually. I wish they were a little bit more resilient, but we'll get to that. The Super Gatler is 48-inch, strength 7, AP3, heavy 2d6, Psycho Daka Blasta, Whir, Click, special rules. Basically, Super Gatler makes 3 shooting attacks with a profile above each time it fires. You have to completely resolve each attack before moving on. If you roll doubles, basically it runs out of ammo for the rest of the game. So that's for the Stompa. The Super Rocket has infinite range. Strength 8, AP3, heavy 1, large blast, 1 use only. That's for the Stompa. The Teleport Blasta. This is a strength 8, AP2 gun. Assault 1 blast. It's a 12-inch range though, and any wound roll of 6 made with this weapon is instant death. If this weapon rolls a 6 in armor penetration, it causes a penetrating hit regardless of whether the armor penetration result was higher than the target's value or not. This is another one of those that if you're going to be putting a big mech on the table, I doubt you're going to use it for that blasta. You're going to probably use it for, custom force field. But especially with a 12-inch range, I mean, you got to get in close for that. Most of the time, if you're trying to get close, you're just trying to get into assault. I don't see this weapon being used that much. Tractor cannon, I think, is awesome. We've talked about that with the mech guns. It says strength 8, AP3, 36-inch range, Skyfire tractor. If you hit a vehicle, it's automatically immobilized. If you hit and wound a swooping flying monstrous creature, then they have to take grounding test at -3. Zap gun is 36 inches, 2d6 strength, AP2. Zap gets hot. It's pretty cool. It's about the same as it was. Ammo runs the same as before. You get to re-roll 1 to hit roll with every ammo runt, except most of the big guns now can only take 1. You used to be able to take 3 per unit. Now you can take 1 per gun. It's about the same, but you have to keep track of it. Only each gun can use it once instead of just picking and choosing when you use it. I think it's really nice for the Labas because you can just pick each time you shoot each turn, just pick one that still has its ammo runt left, and then the rest of the arrows kind of go off each other, so you don't have to really re-roll it unless you really want to. Attack squigs, instead of adding an extra attack, now you get to re-roll 1 to hit roll in combat. It's still good, but for 15 points, don't know. Bomb squig, these got cooler, I think. They're 18 inches, strength 8, AP4. And they're 1 use only. The bomb squigs always hit their target on a roll of 2 or more. So if you roll a 2 or more, they automatically hit. They can go 18 inches, and basically they can't hit flying flyers or flying muskers or skimmers, so that kind of sucks against like Tau and Eldar, but for the most part you're going to be able to hit heavy vehicles, which is nice. Grot Oilers, you get to reroll a mech failed roll for repair. Grot Orderly, reroll a Pain Boys, feel no pain results. Squig Hound, so each time you fail a morale check with a Runt Herder, the unit suffers D6 Strength 3 AP dash hits. Instead of D3, it's now D6. And then he eats basically the squigs, or the grots. Now, at least this time you potentially might get a roll, so you might not wound, because you'll need a 4 to wound. At least this way, who knows? You might save some, because before you just remove D3 grots because they ate them. This time you actually get to roll the wound, so who knows? You might get lucky. The average is going to be 3. You need 4, so maybe 1 to 2 you're going to lose. So I guess I kind of take that back. I guess that's one thing to get a little better. I guess the Squig Hound is a little better, because you're not going to eat as many grots, I guess. And then you get to reroll the morale check. If the reroll is failed, you still fail the morale, so you don't automatically get to pass by killing some dudes, but it is a reroll, at least to your morale. So I don't know. It's not that great, but I don't know. It's not terrible. Stick bombs are assault grenades. Tank buster bombs are now melt-a-bombs, just straight out, which is nice. I think that got a little better. The boss pole, like I said, you get to reroll on the mob results, so you don't actually get to reroll your leadership test. Cyborg body now, not that happy with it. This used to be our only invuln save, and now it is it's a 6-up feel no pain. I don't know. I guess kind of whoop-de-doo for that. It'd be nicer too if they did the cyborg body. It's like, okay, you get a 6-up feel no pain, but if you have a pain boy in your unit, you get to add 1 to your feel no pain rule, so you get a 4-up feel no pain. That'd be awesome. I would pay for it then. But as it stands now, unless it came with my character automatically, I probably wouldn't pay for a cyborg body. It just doesn't seem like it's really that useful. Doc's tools. Basically, it's feel no pain, just like it was before with the pain boys. Git Finder, if you remain stationary, your ballistic skill is 3 instead of 2 until the end of the turn. That's kind of cool, you know, if your flash gits are staying stationary. Custom force field, the bearer and all models within 6 inches receive a 5+ invulnerable save. If the bearer is embarked on a vehicle, then the vehicle gets a 5 invulnerable save, but it doesn't extend beyond the vehicle. So it kind of changed. You know, before it was a cover save, and I think so much it negates cover now, it's kind of nice to be an invuln save. It's too bad it's not the whole unit, it's only within 6 inches. So, you know, pros and cons. I'll take it, you just have to get a little bit more careful. You know, there used to be a question with the 6 inch before, did it affect the whole unit or just 6 inches? When it was a cover save before, there was a debate on that, and then they fact it. I don't know. I'm kind of glad it's an invuln save. I was excited when I first saw it in the White Dwarf. I'm still pretty excited about it. I think it's a good thing. And as we'll see with another Codex supplement, it can actually be better than that. Mechs tools, you need a 5 or 6. You can repair a hull point, or immobilize result, or repair a weapon, and that's for any mech or big mech. Rocket Pack, you basically treat it as a jump unit, but you can run 2d6 instead of 1d6 in the running phase, or the shooting phase, sorry. But if you do, you take it as a dangerous terrain check. So I guess it's not as good as it used to be, the jet packs, the rocket packs, but you know, during a WOG it might be a good thing worth doing, because it's 2d6, so they can really move up the field. The WOG banner increases the weapon skill by 1, it's the same as before. Warbike is a little different now. It's got a 4-up armor save like it used to, but it doesn't have the cover save, like smoke cloud, that it used to have. So now if you turbo boost, your cover save is 1 point higher than it normally would be until the start of your next turn. So basically, and it comes with a twin link deck gun like before. So basically, if you turbo boost and you jink, instead of a 4-up cover save from the jink, you get a 3-up cover save. So that's nice. And, you know, honestly, let's think about it. I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks that they don't always get that, but you kind of had to know that was going to disappear. I mean, that was just too good. And honestly, like, if you're probably going to be turbo boosting the first turn to get into close combat. So it's actually, I mean, a 3-up cover save. It's better than the 4-up they used to have. You know, I don't think that's bad. I think that's fair. I actually don't have a problem with the Warbike rules changes. Honestly, I think it's fair. Armor, heavy armor is a 4-up save. Mega armor is a 2-up save. And it's bulky, slow and purposeful. I really wish they'd just get rid of the slow and purposeful for the mega armor. Why don't you just treat it like a Terminator armor? Although it'd be nice to have the invuln, wouldn't it, guys? But alas, we don't have it. Orc vehicles and equipment. The ARG case is the same as before. Basically, it makes it open-topped, not open-topped anymore. But then they're not assault vehicles. And the access point is at the sides and the rear, and it has fire points designated on each, basically, vehicle. Boarding plank is different. You used to get a kind of an assault attack from the vehicle. I liked it. Some people that have been talking about the internet like it. I'm not. I think it's okay. I don't think it's really worth the points. Basically, you get, if you come out of the vehicle and charge that turn, you get +2 to the charge distance. It's okay. It's maximum of 12 inches. I just don't think it's worth the points, honestly. Def Roller. I mean, sad day, especially since I've converted all my battle wagons to have Def Rollers, and now I'm probably going to have to convert them back. I knew they were probably going to change. I just didn't think they were going to get nerfed as bad as they did. Basically, they count as having a reinforced ram. You get to re-roll, you know, difficult terrain checks or dangerous terrain checks, but instead of getting the D6 strength 10 hits when you ram somebody, now you get D3 strength 10 AP4 hits if they make a death or glory attack, and that's it. So it doesn't help in your ram at all anymore. So yeah, I just don't see the Def Roller getting used too much. It's funny because their new kits for the battle wagons now come with the Def Roller. You think if Games Workshop wanted to sell those, they would have still made it decent. I just don't see myself using them anymore. I don't think most people are going to pay the points for them, honestly. At the beginning, the grab and claw, at the beginning of the enemy's movement phase, nominate a single enemy model or vehicle within 2 inches of the vehicle's grab and claw. On a 4+, the vehicle may not move. Flyers and skimmers cannot be attacked this way. It's a little bit of a change, but it's about the same. Once again, I don't really see it being used that much. Fly Boss, for the flyers. The Fly Boss has a bliss skill of 3 when shooting at jet bikes, skimmers, flyers, and flying monstrous creatures. So a little change there. Grot Riggers have changed. They used to be able to unimmobilize something on a 4-up, which was nice. Now Grot Riggers give the vehicle it will not die, which is awesome. Just like regain hull points, although kind of sucks because you don't have the ability to unimmobilize something. But you're usually probably going to have a mech or big mech around to help you with that. So I think overall it's good. I'm happy with the change. Red Paint Job adds +1 to the move when they move flat out. So now it's not +1 to any move a vehicle makes. Now it's only flat out. So once again, I see red paint kind of really not being taken too much. Reinforced ram. Basically, you count as a tank, or you can ram and tank shock if you have a reinforced ram, and armor value counts as 2 higher than normal when ramming, and you may re-roll failed dangerous terrain checks. I mean, honestly, I think that the reinforced ram is far better than the Def Roller now, and it's cheaper. And I think if you got the points, put it on there so you don't immobilize yourself, because I've even had it happen in a game where I rolled up with my truck, because if it's from like a unit of boys. It's basically objective secured vehicle, and rolled up to try to get an objective and hit the terrain and immobilize myself. So it's worth the 5 points to keep it alive. The stick bomb chukka is the same as it was before, but we'll see here, most of our guys get stick bombs now automatically, so I don't think it's really going to be that useful anymore. The Wrecking Ball has a 3-inch, strength 9, AP 4, assault D3. I think they got a little better than last time. It's potentially worth taking, although honestly, I'd probably spend my points other places. Now, the powers of the Wog are a little different, the Weird Boys. Weird Boys basically can take demonology powers, but they also have the powers of the Wog. There's 6 of them, and a Primaris power. The Primaris power is Frazzle. It's 24-inch, strength 6, AP 3, assault 1, blast. Not a bad one. Edbanger, which used to actually hurt your guys, now is a Witchfire or focus Witchfire power. 24-inch, and the unit must pass. The target must pass a toughness test or suffer a wound with no armor or cover saves allowed. So that's cool. You know, remember with focus Witchfire powers, you need to get at least 2 charges off to make it a focus Witchfire power. If you only get 1 charge passed, then it only hits the nearest one in the unit. It's not focused. Warpath is a blessing, and whilst the powers in effect, the Psyker and its unit have, here we go, special rule gained +1 attack. So basically the Orks are going to gain 1 attack. The Jump, which used to be here we go, is now the Jump. Like the bears. It's a blessing, and basically you get to deep strike anywhere on the battlefield. If double is rolled when you scatter, they can only make snap fire shots till the next turn. It's about the same. Got a little bit worse there, but honestly, it's still pretty dang good. Killbolt is Warp Charge 2. Now they got rid of their Melta one they used to have, but this one's a beam weapon that's or beam power that's 18 inches, strength 10, AP 2. That's pretty dang nice, and beam automatically hits, so it's pretty darn nice. That's a Warp Charge 2. Power Bomb is Warp Charge 2, and that one is a template, strength 7, AP 2, assault 1. Witchfire power, it's also, I mean, that's good too. The Crunch is basically a large blast barrage, strength 2d6 plus AP4 is 24-inch range. Basically, if you roll an 11 or a 12, you get to resolve the attack at strength 10, then you get to do it again, a second attack against the original target. And basically, if you keep rolling 11 or 12s, you get to keep doing that. Chances aren't very good. I don't know, I'm going to mention this, but I don't know if any of you guys played 2nd edition Dark Millennium when that came out. But they had, I think it was the Crunch or like the Foot of Mork or something like that. But instead of a large blast barrage, it was basically like the foot, like of Gork or Mork. And that was a template you used to put down, and that was a psychic power. It's very reminiscent of this with the strength and stuff. So, if any of you guys played 2nd edition, just reminded me of that. It's kind of harkening back, which a lot of stuff from 6th and 7th edition has kind of brought stuff back from 2nd edition, which just makes me, since I've been playing for a long time, really excited about it, because I kind of like seeing some of this complexity come back into it. I really hated when 3rd edition kind of oversimplified things, and I kind of like seeing the game go more like that, in my opinion. Old Zogwar gets mentioned here. He's out fighting somewhere, but because he's, you know, doesn't have a model, he's not in the game. Although I made one out of a Weird Boy, and I put some snakes coming out of his robes. So I guess he'll be shelved for now. The other thing with the power of the Wog is that if you're within 12 inches, there's 10 or more boys, you get an extra warp charge point, which most of the time you're going to have. Now, if you fail to cast a power, you take a strength 2 AP dash hit, you know, which probably isn't going to wound them unless you roll a 6. So, I think overall they're good. It's just the problem is that the Weird Boys, you know, fight so much for the HQ section, which is so good. Let's go through the gifts of Gork and Mork quick, and then we'll call it quits, and we'll start with the HQ section next on the next video. So the gifts of Gork and Mork, there's a few of them. I think they're good. The Finken cap is has to be worn by the Warlord, and basically, if you have it, you take an additional Warlord trait from the strategic table, in addition to the one from wherever else you want to generate it from. So it's kind of cool. It's an extra strategic or Warlord trait. It is pretty cheap. So I think it's pretty cool. You know, I don't know. It's worth taking. You've got the points. Warboss Gas Bags Blitz Bike. It's kind of like a way to bring, you know, basically Wazdaka back into it. But basically, it's a special bike that has a better gun on it. Instead of an 18-inch, it's got a 24-inch gun, which is Strength 6, AP 3, Assault 3. Now it's not twin linked, or no. Oh, yeah, sorry, it is twin-linked. I apologize. It is twin-linked. And the model can move 18 inches instead of 12 inches when it's turbo boosting. You know, most of the time I think you're going to want to stay near your boys and probably behind them, so I don't know how much that's going to help you. I'm going to skip the next one because I think it's just awesome. We're going to come back to that one. But Ed Wappa's Kill Choppa is +2 strength, AP 5. Decapitating strike, rending, two-handed. So basically, it's like a normal heavy choppa, or big choppa, but instead, if you roll a 6, it's rending, and it is instant death, which is pretty dang nice, but you need that 6. Honestly, I'm going to probably take the Power Claw, especially with, he's going to be strength 10 with that, and he's going to instant kill most things anyway, so I'm not going to probably take the Kill Choppa, but it's cool. The fixer-uppers are cool in the shooting phase. They can only be taken by a big mech, but instead of firing, you can roll on this, and on a result of a 3 or more, you restore a lost hull point, weapon destroyed, or immobilized result. So it's really nice for your big mechs. Instead of a 5-up, you get a 3-up. Really nice. The Dead Shiny Shooter. It's a range 18-inch, strength 4, AP 6. It's basically like a slugger that's better, longer range, and it's Assault 6, twin-linked stray shot. Each time you roll a 1, a friendly unit within 6 inches of the target chosen by your opponent suffers a single strength 4 AP 6 hit. You know, that's a little bit of a sucky thing, and it's once again it's a very orky thing, but honestly it's cheap. If you want to take something, it's a nice yeah, it's a nice little gun, honestly. But most of the time, you're probably going to be taking something assaulty with your, you know, your big guy. Now let's talk about the last thing. I just absolutely love this thing. This is the Lucky Stick, and it harkens back to 2nd edition because I loved Makiri. It was Gazgul's Grot that was really lucky. He used to have an invuln save, and he'd actually get upset if he died in the game. But it talks about Makiri was an exceptionally lucky Grot who survived to a ripe old age of 9 before finally meeting his end under the posterior of his hulking master. I think it's so sad that they killed him off by Gazgul sitting on him. Gazgul saw Makiri as something of a mascot, and thus when the Grot's remains were peeled off his boss's rear end, Makiri's waving stick was reclaimed, hosed down, and went into service as an impressive boss pole. Good fortune still surrounds the Lucky Stick, though the backlash when things go wrong can be surprisingly brutal. I just think, one, it's kind of cool. It harkens back to Makiri. Poor Makiri. I still have the model. I'm sure a lot of you do that played 2nd edition. But the Lucky Stick is just cool as it is. All models in the Bearer's unit add +1 to the weapon skill characteristics. So like a Wog Banner, but it's not cumulative with a Wog Banner, so don't put one in there, it's not going to help you. But in addition, the Bearer can choose to reroll any failed to hit or to wound rolls or saving throws they make. However, should 3 or more rerolls generate failed results in the same turn, then the model is immediately removed as a casualty without any saving throws of any kind allowed. That sounds bad, but if you're careful and you reroll things like 2 at a time, and if you fail 2, you just don't re-roll anymore, It's an awesome thing. It's really awesome. I mean, it's so worth the points. I think the Lucky Stick is awesome. Plus, it's got a cool fluff history to it. So, I like it. I'm all in on it. I think it's cool. So, the other thing I'm going to just bring up is they do have Orks did get their own tactical objective cards that replaces some of the cards from the tactical objective deck. It comes with the psychic cards if you order the data cards for the Orks. I'm just going to brush over this. I think it's cool. It looks like they're going to come out with tactical objectives for each new Codex they come out with. Once again, I don't think the tactical objectives are very fair. I don't think you're going to be seeing them used in most tournaments unless they're modified, so I don't see these Orc tactical objective cards being used too much, to be honest. They're cool, but the last thing is the Orc Horde detachment. The Orc, there's a unique detachment, the Horde detachment, and I'm assuming, and most people are still assuming, that you can take a regular CAD or combat, or basically a normal CAD force, and then you can take the Horde detachment if you want to. It's kind of up in the air in this. So, I mean, because it says it follows all the detachment rules presented in the Warhammer 40k rules. The restrictions are that they basically have to have Orc faction or no faction, and the boss of the WOG, basically he can re-roll the results when rolling for warlord traits, same as the normal CAD. The Greenskin Hordes, every unit with 10 or more models, if they roll 10 or more on the charge, gets Hammer of Wrath. So it's cool. I mean, you can have 3 HQ choices instead of just 1 to 2. You can have up to 9 troops, and then 3 fast tech, 3 heavy, 3 elites, 1 Lord of War, 1 fortification. I think you can just take a normal CAD still too. It's the way we've kind of been playing it in our local group. I don't think this is the only way you can take Orcs. I think it's just a one option for detachment. There is also a formation that's in this book, and the formation is a little different too. Basically, you can take 1 war boss, 1 mech, and then 1 unit of knobs or mega knobs, and 6 units of boys, and 1 unit of Gretchen. And basically, if the detachment is the primary detachment, then you get to re-roll your warlord traits on the Codex Orks, just like the other one. And you get the Hammer of Wrath if you roll 10 or more. And Stampede, basically, the warlord can use his WOG every turn after the first, so he just gets to keep calling WOG, which is pretty dang cool. It's pretty powerful. Basically, every turn you get a WOG. It's pretty nasty. I think you'll see that. The problem with both of those is you don't have objectives secured with your troops. And so, the primary CAD's really useful for that, so I don't know, if you'll see that played or not. It'll be interesting. So up next, we're going to talk about the HQ section, and we'll go from there. This is Wargamer Shawn, signing off.
Goodbye. 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 Bye-bye. Goodbye. See ya. Bye for now. Bye for now. Goodbye. I like bottoms.